Hey guys, welcome to the homestead. So today I'm going to show you what me and my son just picked up. My son just ran down the hill to get some of his friends, but let me show you what we got. I found this on Craigslist. During our recent outing here on the homestead, there was a guy who came and he's a blacksmith, or he's training to be a blacksmith, and he was helping others to learn some of the things that he has learned, and so he was kind of doing some classes and things like that. And so my kid has really been interested. Joshua's been really interested in blacksmithing and wanting to learn that. We've looked at a number of schools. Right now he's too young for most of the schools to accept him to do blacksmithing, so he has to get a couple years older. He's right now just now barely 12. I think he has to be like 14 or something like that, or 13, to get into some of these schools, these blacksmith schools that are in the area. So we're going to start ahead anytime. And so someone after our recent outing here found this put on Craigslist, posted it on Facebook, and I jumped on it. Let me show you what I got. So it's this equipment. It's basically a forge, 2 plates for the forge. This is what they were using for the air. I'll show you how that hooks up in a minute. But you know, the forge, a bunch of tools, a nice sized hammer that's perfect for a kid to use. I think it's called a swedge ping. I'm not sure. Some other tools, and then also some different various forms of metal, hard, high carbon steel that he can use to make things with. So knives and things like that. Now the guy we got all this from, he's definitely a knife maker. In fact, on his mailbox it says knife smith, and so, or bladesmith. And so he makes knives out of a lot of stuff, and so he gave us a number of things to make knives out of. So I think, you know, Joshua's going to have a really good head start here. Let me set all this up and then I'll show it to you again. So here's what it looks like all set up. You've got a couple tools here, a couple tools there, like a poker, and I think this is used for pulling in the coal. And so he gave us these 2 tools, those 2 tools, and also a hammer, again, that's just the right size for Joshua to swing. And so great for that. And then here's how he has his blower set up. Now even on his main forge that he still uses back at his house, he has one of these big ones, a big hair dryer like this, that he sticks in there, and that's how he heats it, or that's how he blows his forge, and he just plugs it in. Well, because we're off grid, we can either plug it into a generator or a battery bank, and because it's a heating element, I don't think a battery bank will work because it'll drain the batteries too fast, so we're going to have to figure something out on that. Probably maybe a generator will work, but the long-term plan is to go ahead and find a blower that you can spin. So we'll keep an eye out on that. So we have a forge, we have some tools. Joshua can get going, get started on some projects. Here's some of the other metals he gave us. He gave us, I don't even know what that is. This is like a nail puller. He says these make great knives. So he gave us one of those. Some old horseshoes, other just scrap pieces of metal. He says this piece right here will make a great knife. It's very high carbon, good steel. And so he specifically talked about that one. He says these car springs are great. They're high carbon, great steel, and you just cut them off and then and straighten them out, and they make great knives as well. So just lots of different types of scraps of metal. And here's an old lawnmower blade, some more of these springs, and just various other tools. So all that stuff, and then also another pan. Now the other one here is welded onto that one, onto that blower tube there, but we have an extra one of those. Then also he gave us a whole bunch of coal. So, wait a minute, reach down in there. A whole bunch of coal. So we have coal. Hopefully that'll keep Joshua busy for a while. But he says he has to go all the way to Oklahoma. It takes him over a full day's trip to go over and get it. He gets about 2 tons at a time. But you know, here's some to get started with. I think we'll have to look for another source maybe on where to get this stuff at. But I know you can use charcoal, but I think this stuff is better. So anyway, he gave us 2 half-filled feed sacks full of coal. So we have that going for us. Now, we need an anvil. Our neighbor down the road, the one who delivers milk for us, or who we buy milk from, has told us that her grandfather has a blacksmith shop set up, or not really set up anymore, but it's in an old barn that's fallen down, and there's an anvil in there buried half in the dirt. So I think she said something, if you want to come get it, you have to dig it out and get it out. So we're going to have to figure out how to do that. She said it'll be quite a chore to get it out of there. But we're going to go see if we can get that anvil out and maybe see what other tools that he has. Maybe we buy those off of her if she wants to sell them. I don't know if she'll want to sell them or not, but we'll talk to her. But there's a good source down the road that we can probably get an anvil. The only other thing we're going to need is probably a vise, and I think Tim's going to run over to Harbor Freight and check out and see what they got, and just for a simple vise that Joshua can use next to the anvil. All right, I got one more thing I want to show you. So if you know what this is pure literary gold. Foxfire books came out in the 1960s, I believe, or 1970s, I think. Not sure exactly which, when it got started, but a lot of this is very well known. The Foxfire books are very well known for having loads of information on different topics. The Foxfire 5 book has iron making, blacksmithing, flintlock rifles, bear hunting, and other affairs of plain living. And so about half of this book is all about blacksmithing and iron making and just the trades that involve that. And so Joshua has been reading this for, I don't know, the last few days intently because he's very interested in the topic. And we just picked these Foxfire books up not too long ago, and it was from a guy who's been in one of our former videos. You may remember Calvin Bay, the master gardener, who also teaches. Used to teach at the local university on gardening and soil preparation, all that great stuff. And so we had him in a video. Well, he called me up and says, "Hey, Zach, listen, we're moving, and would you like to come over and get some of these books?" And he said that it included 6 of the Foxfire books, and I said, I am there. And so I went and got them. We'll talk some more about all the stuff he gave me. I got a whole 2 boxes of stuff he gave me. We'll go through it and just talk about it. But Joshua has been into this book and reading a lot about it. So folks, if you want to, I mean, I've been reading this too. It's amazing. Some of the stories in here that people have gone through and just experienced, and the things that they made and how they made them, and just amazing stories. So if you've never gotten a hold of one of these books, guys, I would highly suggest getting the Foxfire books. And if you're into blacksmithing, the Foxfire 5 book is specifically about that. Okay, so that's it for right now. We have, again, some other things we have to get for this forge to get it in full operation. We could actually probably run the forge now, but again, we need an anvil, we need a couple other things. So once we get those things, we'll get this thing in operation, and we'll bring you back and we'll show you some of Joshua's projects that he's doing. You can find this stuff. If you're interested in blacksmithing, or if you have a child who's interested in blacksmithing, you can find these tools, a lot of them on Craigslist. People are giving them away. You can find them at flea markets. Sometimes people are going to charge you an arm and a leg for them. What did I pay for this forge today that I got? $130. Actually, no. I gave him an extra $10 because he said he would throw in a bunch of the extra iron. So with all the extra iron and things that he gave me, some extra tools, it was $140. And from what I've been told, that's a steal compared to some of the other prices for things that are out there today. So again, I need a blower, I need an anvil, I need a vise, a couple other small things, and we'll be off and running. But 140 bucks is the price I paid. You guys can find some deals on Craigslist. Leave a comment below if you're into blacksmithing. Let us know how it's working out for you, or is it just a hobby? Are you guys, I see a lot of blacksmiths on Etsy making money, so maybe that's one of you guys. All right, see you next time on the Homestead.